Hi, I'm Lorraine. Welcome to the District Yoga and welcome to your myofascial release class. This class is going to be one very targeted around the psoas. So for many of us, the psoas tends to get a bit tight, and we're just going to rehydrate those tissues both on the front and the back side of the body. So I'll just quickly show you. We are going to need 2 myofascial balls. I'll just show you. We're going to be into the front side first. So we're going to start really on the lower ribs. We're going to start with the balls a bit closer together. They might actually even be touching here. So they're going to be right kind of higher up. We'll start there, then I'll roll them down or move them down with our hands and probably be around that belly button area. And the balls here are probably going to be a little bit wider than where they were up here. We got a little bit more space, so you'll be able to find that 1 inch, maybe 2 inches in between, depending on your build. And then we're going to work our way down to our frontal hip bones. And if you want to just feel for your frontal hip bones, those protrusions there, we're going to be right down below them. So we're going to sit into that area on the front side. So 1, 2, 3 on the front. And then we're going to work our way to the back side. We're going to kind of start on the illiacus, or that back side of the hips. So if you want to feel those frontal hip bones again, and then just trace your way back and up right about here. So really kind of those love handles that we like to call them. We're going to place the balls there. We're going to do a little bit of work in a figure 4 there. And then we're going to come down to those bullseyes. So we'll start with the front side, work into the back side, and hopefully give you a bit of release through that psoas, and then also some of those areas around that space. So go ahead and grab your 2 balls if you don't have them already. Again, we're going to start on our bellies. So make your way to tabletop position. And then if you're with me, go ahead and just come onto your bellies. We haven't placed the balls yet, but we're going to start again with the higher of the 2. We're going to place the balls. I'm going to place one at a time, kind of in the middle of the ribs. They're going to be, again, closer together here. And I'll give you a few options once you place them there. Again, you're above the belly button to start out. Option 1 is just going to be let the elbows kind of come out wide. You're almost in this version of Sphinx pose. That's option 1. And in fact, let's just stay here for a couple moments just so you can experience that sensation. For some of us, it's going to feel a little bit awkward if you've never done it before. So don't try to change it. Just try to see what you feel here. Always best not to necessarily do it on a full stomach. So if you did eat right before this, know that you can always back off early, or you can come back to this practice when you're on a not so full stomach. This is option 1. You can stay here. Option 2 is going to maybe walk your hands or elbows a little bit more forward and let those balls sink in just a little bit more. You might notice right away if you walk the hands forward, a bit more tension or tightness through that space. And if it was too much, always walk your hands back. So find that degree that feels appropriate. We're not going to be here extremely long. So again, the psoas attaches to these upper ribs here, upper spine. So we're really kind of just superficially touching into that space from the front. So they attach to the spine and work their way down to the front of the hips. Take your last inhale. Stay there, breathe out. And then from here, walk your hands in so that we can move the balls down. So again, we're just going to wiggle them down. They're probably about the belly button height. And again, here they're going to have a little bit of space. So they might be just above your belly button. They might be just in line with your belly button. Find yours there. And again, there's probably about 1 inch, maybe 2 inches in between. And again, we're really kind of superficially trying to touch or tap into the area of the psoas that attaches to the spine here. Take a couple breaths, again, still in the Sphinx pose arms. Again, you could have your elbows wide. You could walk your hands a little bit more forward if that felt more appropriate. As soon as I walked my hands forward, my rib cage lowered down to the mat. Maybe that happened for you too. If it did, just notice a little more compression. Again, we're superficially touching it, but the muscles that are deep to where we're touching obviously impact the muscle that we're trying to impact here in this practice. Take your last couple breaths. Seeing if you can relax in just a little more. Beautiful. Last 3. For 2. And 1. Again, if you walked your hands out, bring the hands back under the shoulders. We're going to move the balls down, and I'm actually going to remove them completely from the belly so that I can just come back into a Sphinx pose, take a couple moments just to feel the front of the body, maybe feel a little bit more spacious through the front of the ribs. Give yourself a couple breaths. And then we're going to come to the space of the hips. Again, we're going to be right below those frontal hip bones. So I'm going to feel for mine, and then I'm just going to place mine right beneath it, probably about an inch beneath there. And then go ahead and just land where you did. If you need to wiggle around, you can. If you need to adjust with the hands, you can. And a couple options for the upper body. Option 1, that same Sphinx pose with the elbows splayed out. Option 2 is maybe you come down to the side of one cheek, elbows splay out. Stay where you are, option 1 or 2, for a couple moments, a few breaths. This is probably one of my favorite myofascial techniques. Just getting into the area of the hips. Not only, again, does it touch the psoas, but the frontal hip bones, or the area of the frontal hips, the hip flexors. The huge space, joint, muscle area of our body. In fact, one of the largest. So lots of tension typically here. See if you can just relax in. And then if you are staying, I'm going to welcome you to stay there if you'd like. Or if you want a little bit of movement, I'm going to give you an option to add the legs, to add a little bit of movement here. So if you're with me, we're going to keep the right leg extended long as it is. Just place a bend through the left knee and bring those feet up towards the sky. Take a couple moments just to feel that change, that shift. And then maybe just start to lower that foot back down. Inhale to lift it up. Exhale to lower. So we're working through that left hip to start out. Take a couple breaths. Just a few more rounds. Let's say 3. For 2. Last one. Lower that left leg back down. Maybe turn the cheek off to the opposite side here. Take a couple moments just to notice. And then if you want that additional movement on the opposite side, go ahead and place a bend through the right knee. Extend the foot up towards the sky. Take a couple breaths there to start out. And then if you want that movement, just extend that leg back long. Inhale to lift it up. Exhale to lower. Couple rounds like that. And you might notice right away, definitely for me, my right side doesn't feel as much sensation as I did on the left. That's okay. Just be aware if that happened for you. Maybe your left side is a little tighter than the other. Or the right, maybe for you. Last one, inhale. Extend that leg back out long. This time, take a breath in. Big breath out. And then we're going to go ahead and lift both feet up towards the sky, bending through those knees. And then we're just going to find circles in any direction. So my circles are going to the right first to start out. You're just here for 5, for 4, 3, 2. We're going to switch directions. So go the opposite way. Let that work into your brain. Last 3. It's a subtle, subtle shift. For 2. Last one, inhale. Exhale, slowly lower the feet back down to the mat. If you came all the way down to that pillow that you created, lift up towards that Sphinx pose again. Just take one more huge breath in. Massive breath out. Stay there. Bear with me. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Press your way up to a tabletop position and just go ahead and shift back into a child's pose. Let the forehead drop down to the earth. Maybe let the hands come down by the side body here. So a little more compression as we fold into ourselves, into that frontal hip bone, into those hip flexors, into that illiacus. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. Plant the hands under the shoulders. Slowly lift the crown of the head as you just come to a nice, comfortable seated position here. Take a big breath in. No rush to get to any place. We are going to make our way onto our back. So go ahead and scoot those balls off to the side. Go ahead and crawl your knees forward. Again, we're going to come to the illiacus. So again, if you wanted to feel those frontal hip bones, we're going to come to the back side of them, and we're going to be right around those love handles there. So go ahead and find your way onto your mat if not already. And then we're going to bend through the knees, planting the feet onto the earth. Go ahead and place one ball at a time. Again, it's a little bit wider than, say, right near your pelvic bone or right near your sacrum there. It's a little bit wide. And then just place those there. They're wedged right underneath those love handles that we have. Again, we're avoiding any bones, any nerves, any sharp pains, as always. Take a big breath in. Huge breath out. And from here, we're going to start on the right side. So keep that right knee bent. We're going to flex through the left toes as we lift up the foot and bring that left ankle to that right knee. So a nice figure 4 with the legs. And right away, you might notice we added a little bit of additional pressure. You might feel it actually on both sides. Definitely for me, I felt a little bit more on my left when I lifted up that leg, but also a little bit more on that right side as you allowed that left ankle to come to that right knee. Now, if you're okay there, always more than welcome to stay. If you want a little bit more, we're just going to lean the legs off to the right. So adding a little bit more intensity to that right side. And then we're just going to work our way back towards center and back a little bit over towards the left. So we're kind of rotating or moving our hips from left to right. And just allowing yourself to add this movement, add a little cross-fibering of the tissues. Breathe here. Last couple moments, swaying side to side. Again, we're not chasing any sharp pains. We're really just trying to hydrate the area of these tissues. Right here, we're really in that backside of the iliacus. So really nice to touch into. It's a place that we often don't really have the chance to dive into, say in a yoga class, unless it's super specific. Take one more breath where you are. Bring the knees back towards center. We'll slowly unravel that ankle from the knee, and then just take a couple moments here just to settle back towards center. And then only when you're ready, we're going to lift that right foot up, cross that ankle over the knee, flex the right toes, and really press that knee towards the bottom of your mat. Breathe here. Again, if you want to stay there, you're more than welcome to stay. Otherwise, we're just going to start to add that movement, swaying from left to right. And again, this movement for me feels a little bit different, actually. I feel like my right hip is definitely getting a little bit more of a stretch as it moves off to the left. My right frontal hip, that is. So it might be that combination of both, right? We touched into the front side to start out, and now we're here on the back side. Last 3. Last 2. Remember, it's all connected. Our fascia is part of our connective tissue that really connects from head to toe. Really, the only place we don't have it are our mouth and our eyes and our nose. But it's all the way top to bottom. Take one more breath. Come back to center when you're ready. Take an inhale. Release that ankle when you can. And then from here, let's just move those balls off to the side. Maybe grab them in each hand. Extend the legs out. And I just want you to take a couple moments just to notice how that feels. Any changes? Maybe feel a little warmer in that space. Maybe even notice how the front side of the body feels since we started there. Maybe the breath feels a little bit more full, or like you can breathe into your lungs a little bit more. Maybe the sides of the hips, the glute medians, feel this too. Take one more breath in. Huge breath out. From here, last one, go ahead and bend through the knees again. We're going to plant the feet onto the mat, and then we're going to press into the feet so that we can lift our hips up and set our balls down right underneath the center of those glutes, so that bullseye area. Go ahead and place them, lower the hips onto the balls once you're done. And then just bring the hands where it feels appropriate, maybe on the front hip bones, maybe down by the sides. Keeping the bend in the knees, just take a couple breaths here. Let yourself land. Again, this will be our last place here. The last place we'll touch for this psoas. And ultimately, they are trigger points or trigger areas that tend to have referral pain in those spaces near the psoas. So we're touching it all, front to back. Hopefully we release some tension, rehydrate the tissues in this space, give you a little bit more spaciousness through the front body, through the back body, through the hips. Take a big breath in. Huge breath out. Stay here if you want to stay here. Otherwise, heel toe the feet out towards the width of your mat. Let the knees just knock in towards each other. Whew. That definitely added a little bit more intensity for me as I internally rotate my hips. Let yourself just land here. Just breathing still. Last couple moments. Take one more inhale. Exhale it out. When you're ready, if you did knock the knees in towards each other, just heel toe the feet. One last little thing I just want to add to it. Go ahead and lift that right knee up towards the chest. Maybe flex the right toes and then extend that leg long up towards the sky. It doesn't have to go completely straight up towards the sky. We're just going to lower that heel down towards the earth. Maybe tap, maybe not, maybe hover. And then lift that leg back up. You're going to feel that a little bit more on that right side. Lower it back down for 2. Lift it back up. Last 3. For 2. Last one here. Lift it back up. Let's lower it back down one last time. Bend through the knee. Plant that foot back down to the earth. Take a breath in. Big breath out. Last little thing, flex through the left toes as you hover that left foot. Lift that left foot up towards the sky. Take a breath in. Lower that left leg down. Again, doesn't have to be completely straight. Maybe tap, maybe hover. Lift it back up. Yes, you can. Lower back down and lift. Last 3. Keep breathing for 2. All right, last one. Let's lower down, maybe hover, maybe tap. Lift it back up. Inhale, bend that knee, set that foot down. Take a breath in. Breathe it out. Let's get off of these glutes. Lift the hips up. Remove those balls off to the side and just walk the legs out long in front of you. Let the hands fall wide and just let yourself relax in all this glory, everything that you just did. The combination of the sensations, the circulation in that space. Again, maybe the spaciousness that we created. Just stay here, a few rounds of breath, indulging in the work. In my opinion, it's never a bad idea to come to a myofascial release practice. Always something good and beneficial. If you'd like to stay, go ahead and stay. Otherwise, we will say that that is the end. And I hope you leave with your psoas feeling a little bit more spacious and hydrated. Namaste.